any abnormal mixing concrete, we are 26 days or 2,860 or more. Or also, eventually, and you want to want money. I am sure, sir, you be a human ever have. Then, what you have, well, say, the Martian Mama Cecilia, who is a gold, and come out to the day, said, Banchi, and who will pass watching gold. Mr. Pompeo, for Thailand. I call Thailand, Obama American security meter. Now, Professor Savo Kantanka, a great department, and will take. And now, Honorable Mahama, Cecilia, Honorable Ghana Ambassador to China. And now, Honorable Agyapong, Dapaah, he is starch, and Bawumia, the managing director of Endorse. And a 17 year Yechia, Minister of Agriculture, in Universal, the two is so, or so is Cecilia, as one of them, that you one day be president of your country. And now, the Kiana, so I'm a professor of today. Meanwhile, that time, Honorable Mahama, Ambassador to China, for a deputy minister of Agriculture, and they want a whole professor, head of department, and head department of tech, and they want managing director, a year cassava starch. And so, Mahama is also in Cecilia. Minimum of the year of having a so good see how to you one day you'll be president of your country. But the net, your SCA, the Cecilia see a while tomorrow, and now you saw a yacht not Korea, authority and Israel. When you put on someone, I am no catcher to say, Uncle Jesse, now Uncle Son, now we did Israel. And now someone called Jesse, who can't sell it just not one member of the friend and not a Kentika, a Brahmi, a Grandful, and soon we are someone's company. We are any of so big Israel. And someone beside Jesse said, and our money in any other. That Jesse said, someone said, I can't remember what we are also. Now someone actually Jesse said, come and go for and man Jesse did Dapaah. Someone actually Jesse said, wait, and I'm going to say, we did Israel. Flour, bread, the same flour, biscuits. Cassava starch, we eat your poultry feeds. And we have cassava plant, maintain. And you tell gold in this. So we have a starch. Manchi, starch, and the idea in blue, and money. If you go now, I will go to seven deputy woman organizer. Yeah, go here, and go here. Or say, and Marian, yeah, we have Manchi. And you.
What do you call yourself?
I call myself as the people's man. You see, when you talk of business and you say Donald Trump, I agree. But if you tell me in politics I'm like Donald Trump, I disagree.
Why?
I disagree because I've been in politics for about 32 years. Donald Trump was typical businessman, and he decided to run to make a change, which I agree with him. But some of his policies were too harsh to ordinary citizens in the country. But when it comes to Agyapong, I always think of the ordinary people first and not the higher class. You know, in America, Republicans, we have something in economics called Reaganomics. Reaganomics, Reagan at his time wanted to build the high class, giving them good money to establish businesses. But they failed because when they empowered them with all these resources, they ended up going to holidays, expensive vacations and everything. So we call it Reaganomics. Although MPP, we are aligned to Republicans, naturally, I'm a Democrat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in your heart, you are Democrat?
Yes.
By your party, why? What about Democrats do you like that you want to replicate in Ghana?
See, Democrats, they always make policies that takes care of the ordinary people. And the Republicans, you know, sometimes their decisions are very tough and it does not favor the ordinary people in society.
So you're not a conservative?
I'm not. And I'm not a socialist. I'm liberal.
You're liberal?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the difference.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, then why not with the National Democratic Congress in Ghana?
A socialist. I'm liberal.
You've always been, do you have NPP in your family? Or what did your family think about you joining politics and for that matter, the blue?
Well, you know, to tell you the truth, couldn't take it because of the insults and all those things. And to break the news to you, my mother died because of me. When Honorable Collins Dada threatened, his brother threatened to kill me. And she was pleading with me to stop politics because he said they're going to kill me, and Kwame, you will kill me, Kwame, you will kill me. That was Thursday. Friday, I left for Kumasi, and Sunday afternoon, coming back to Accra, I got the bad news that my mother had died. Because she was saying, my heart, you'll kill me, you'll kill me.
I'm sorry about that. If she were alive and seeing all your billboards and posters and your campaign in town, what would he say to you? Are you the first or last son or middle?
I'm the first.
First child.
Yes.
If he calls you, what would she have said to you if she were alive?
Well, she said, you're a hardcore guy, you know, because she's giving me advice to stop, and I didn't. I wanted to make a difference in society. And that day, I was joking with her, and I said, if you say they are insulting me, I also insult them. They are also people's children.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you worry about these things? It's the nature of the game, so take heart. But she couldn't.
It's good you mentioned insult, because that's what I was going to, and it's a good segue. When the name Agyapong is mentioned, acerbic comes to mind. He has an acerbic tongue. He insults. In fact, preparing for this interview, I decided to just do a quick Google search of, I just wrote Agyapong insults, and the turnover was huge. I could read a number of headlines that popped up, and I'm wondering, how do you behave that way? You've insulted presidents, you've insulted chiefs, you've insulted journalists, you've insulted Efiasu as nigger, you've insulted members of parliament, you've insulted journalists. At least those are all the quotations. Some are in video, some are in text. As a child growing up, I was told not to insult people. You want to be president of the land. Culturally, do these insults stick with the personality you are seeking to be now?
You know what? Let me tell you something. In Ghana here, the problem we have is they always misconstrue confidence to be arrogant. I'm a confident person and I speak my mind. In plain words, I'll tell you like this. But in Ghana, even when they're going to insult you, they'll say, oh, please. Like, with all due respect to them.
Sebi.
Yeah, Kuyapim and Nakan, oh, Sebi, Mipa Chose, and all those things. And the result is the same. Sebi, Wajimi. Mipa Chose, we are boa. Agyapong comes and say, Wajimi, we are boa. And they think because I didn't use the word Sebi or Mipa Cho, it makes a difference. It doesn't make a difference.
But is it good to insult?
I reciprocate action.
So you are a tit for tat person?
Normally, yes.
If you became president and someone insults you, you take the presidential convoy and go and insult them back. Is that how you're going to behave?
You see, when you are president, you are a leader for your country and you represent your country. You cannot be talking like that. And I'll ignore most of them. I'm not even going to comment. Of late, if you have watched whatever behavior I put up, there are a lot of insults here and there, but I just ignore them.
But old habits die hard. If it's something that, and I'm a media person, and even before I started practicing journalism, when you sit on national agenda on Net2 in the past, and I've followed Net2, I've followed Oman FM, and even your newspaper, the national agenda,
Right.
I think it died later on. But, and when you go to Adum FM and all these places, I remember when you were engaging the late Alhaji Bature,
Right.
you insulted even his father, and even sounded ethnocentric when he said, when you made your first 1 million or something like to that effect, his father was a watchman or something to that effect. Did you have to go down that low?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because, you see, with all due respect to you, journalists, if Ghana is going to burn, it's journalists, because most of you don't speak the truth.
Really?
Yes. Read my lips.
Explain.
In the sense that, at least, you should have given me benefit of the doubt to ask, is this man mad to describe Alhaji Bature as this, and that? Nobody. All what he says. You see, I changed my attitude and began to reciprocate action because in this country, I was here for some time, and NDC insults people and they get away with murder. I say, how can we allow a group of people to insult people and get away with murder? The first time I reciprocated action was when one NDC guy insulted President Kufuor and said he's a dumb, he cannot even speak good English and all those things. All these words that he used for President Kufuor, because he's an NDC, nobody said anything. What did Alhaji Bature say about my family before I said that? I mean, we have to be fair. And if I ask you the question, you cannot give me answer because, with all due respect to you, most of you are stereotyped. And most of us, we consume information without digesting it. I was responding to the accusations by Alhaji Bature. But whatever he accused me of, nobody heard it. It is only Agyapong's response. That, I think, is not fair in this country.
Are you a Christian?
I am.
I think the Bible said somewhere that let go and let God. Have you ever considered that?
The Bible also says that you should crack the whip.
So you are cracking the whip?
Yeah, sometimes, not
Even
all
though
the time.
it would come out as, you said that when you are confident, they say you're arrogant, but it will come out as you are disrespectful, you are insulting. It doesn't bother you. That's a tag that's put on your head.
It doesn't bother me because it's the truth. I speak the truth. Ghana here, a lot of people are afraid to speak the truth. And when you speak the truth, they say you're arrogant. They say you are insulting. You mentioned a Schwarzenegger. I never knew her until she went on Peace FM to insult me. It was my colleague MP who told me that, what have you done to a Schwarzenegger? I said, who is a Schwarzenegger? Then he retorted, you don't even know her. I'm saying, no. I said, go and ask for the tape. The way this woman was insulting you. So I took the tape and listened to what he said. And I had to go down to her level for also to let her feel the pain that every individual that he has insulted in this country also feels.
Do you feel children who are watching you should reciprocate what you are doing? Should they learn that from you?
What you can learn everything from me, because my good things outweighs the bad things you claim to be.
In Parliament, the House had to reprimand you because you insulted Parliament.
For speaking the truth.
So you see...
For speaking the truth.
So what is called insult for you is speaking the truth?
Yeah, it's the truth. Ghana, when you speak the truth, they say you are insulting.
But you see, you're a member of Parliament where language is very, very much sensitive.
And I want you to do me a favor and quote at least some of the insults.
Oh, if I were to go on, some are horrible. I don't even want to know whether they are correct or not, but I could read some of them for you.
Yeah, read.
I have taken the burden to take a screenshot of a number of them while I look for them. Parliament reprimanded you. They said that what you did was unparliamentary. Look at some headlines. Angry Kennedy Agyapong insults his workers for running adverts before his interview. That's one. Kennedy Agyapong angrily insults Ifya Schwarzenegger over arrest claims. Showers of insult. Ifya Schwarzenegger blazes her gun at Kennedy Agyapong. IGP pardons Kennedy Agyapong for insults. IGP, former Inspector General of Police, Kudalo. Apparently you had insulted him and said he was an asshole. You said this on TV. That's what has been quoted as you saying. Kennedy Agyapong pleads with judges after TV insults. You insulted a judge, a number of judges. It doesn't end there. There are several other problems. In fact, GhanaWeb has a catalog. They describe it as a dossier. Kennedy Agyapong insults IGP. And they have a list of people you have insulted there. They put it up there for you. Then look at them. This is GhanaWeb. I am out of insults. I'm a gentleman, Kennedy Agyapong. That sounded like you had repented.
Who said that?
This was you, December 2016. They said you said you would stop insulting.
I haven't said that. Okay. Which means whatever you are saying, you see, that's what I told you initially. That at least they should have given me benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
To ask, why did this MP say this? All these things, they didn't bring it. And all they said is insult, insult, insult. You journalists, most of you are not fair.
Really?
Yes.
You insulted Boabin Asamoah, and he says Boabin Asamoah reacts to Kennedy Agyapong's insults at him. This was your former director of communication. Kennedy Agyapong in hot waters. Judge summons him over insults. Kennedy Agyapong shows no mercy on baby mama, replies her insults and apology. Kennedy Agyapong cautioned and discharged for insulting a judge. This is another headline, myinfo.com. Kennedy Agyapong insults Sami Dakun, a lawyer, in court, and judge had to intervene. And it continues just by Googling
I'm
insults.
telling you, you are all biased.
How?
Biased.
Say these things?
What did Sami Daku say in court?
What did he say?
You see, I'm trying to be nice, but I know you are an intelligent journalist. I expect you also to probe into it. What did Sami Daku say in court?
What did he say, sir?
You don't know, but you are quoting
the
him.
publications from the reporters in the court.
I'm sorry, I tell you the truth. That you also have the same problem.
Okay.
Because you did not even ask what Sami Daku said, and I replied him.
Okay.
All you are quoting is what, they said he insulted Sami Daku. That boy, he can be my child. Do you know what he said? The description he gave me? I want you to go and find out.
Okay, but you see, the issue is that because the judge had to intervene, as a journalist, I appeal to authority in my reportage. If the judge asked you to withdraw, it means that what you said was unprintable.
But the judge did not ask him to withdraw.
Usually when the judge says...
No, I'm saying that. I'm asking you, my brother. I want to prove something to you. How journalists, some of you are so unfair. And you only consume information. And some of them, they are just diabolic. They're going to bend this country. Because the actual things that prevail, they will never say it. They'll just pick an issue, then just spread it, and nobody will probe into that statement. Then they will come out with their conclusions. That is not fair to me.
When you attack journalists, you own a media empire.
Yeah, so that is
are
why...
Are also unprofessional?
That is why I'm fair. Let me give you one example. Why I sacked Justice Annan. Justice Annan insulted Vice President. Justice Annan was biased to a man who was an adjudicator for Mr. Prempeh, the former Director, Controller General. He died in his estate. what Mr. Boateng has to say. You know, this gentleman, they not even call Mr. Boateng for his side of the story. He made series of publications against this man. When we had this election at the stadium, I know the man. I went there to greet him. The way the man behaved, he embarrassed me. I said, oh, what? And he won't listen to me. Oh, yeah, you did it. And I said, I don't even know what you are talking about. Later on, I went to find out from Oman FM and Netu that they had even taken the matter to court. Media Commission has asked Justice Sanan to apologize to the man, and he refused. According to the man, somebody at my media stations told him that I am the one behind it for Justice Sanan to destroy him, which I didn't even know about it.
It was not true.
No, I did not even know about it. So I realized, no, I can lose good friends. Although I'm contesting the vice president, I will not stand anywhere and insult him. Whether I like it or not, he's the vice president.
You campaign for him.
Right. And if you follow the trend, there's nowhere I have insulted the vice president. Again, this nobleman that really likes me, I like him. His daughter's wedding, I was there, only for him to embarrass me. So I decided to verify. And when I verified, they gave me the report from Media Commission. So I said, this thing can't go on. You see, he destroyed the man, and he was so hurt. This is the problem I have. So if the person is working for me, and he's not doing the right thing, and I'm not able to check him, how would I have the courage even to say something to you if you also do something wrong? So I think we have to be fair to everybody.
But the approach you use, you don't think that sometimes you let your emotions take the better side of your judgment? Does that not...
What approach is that?
The approach that... I
mean, you see, let me tell you.
In Parliament, just to say, in Parliament, when you say the least word, the Speaker would ask you to withdraw. They say it's unparliamentary, which means that Parliament is a house of decorum. We watch you in the well. We see how you people speak. The least word you use against your colleague, even if it's a gesture, recently the Speaker had to ask your colleague to withdraw. Do you not think that you should replicate that also on the public scene so that we make progress and have decency or decorum?
You see, you use the word decency and decorum. Is decency applies to everybody, or it applies to a section or a group of people in this country, and other groups are not? You know, so we have to be careful. I'll tell you, I always reciprocate action. And before I come out, you have done it for several times that I don't even say anything. So one day, when I come out, the public, the society, everywhere, because it's Agyapong, they have a news. That, I think, is not fair.
Okay.
If we really want to develop this country, we should all build this. Have confidence, bold, honest, sincere, disciplined, and change this country. But a situation where when you respond to somebody's allegation, somebody's insult, and they ignore
what was said against
you and reprimand you for what you have said, I think it's wrong.
This is Face to Face on CDTV. My guest is Honorable Agyapong. He wants to be flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. When we come back, I'll ask him about the economy. The man at the second position in the government now is an economist. He was celebrated by the NPP and introduced to us.
About 5 of them. So Ghanaians are impatient. And because of that, people are doing things with impunity. But when we are blaming the president, you should blame the judiciary too.
How?
Because of delays. Because of delays.
The Attorney General succeeded in daily prosecutions for your colleague from Asin North. If the government is committed and the president himself is committed, they would have gotten these cases to, don't you think?
Well, you know, let me give you this example. Opuni. Opuni.
Cocoa board.
Yeah, cocoa board. Right from 2017, we're in 2023. How many years now?
6.
Right. Nothing has been done. But even the reference you just made, you see, when the president also made a mistake to comment on whatever he preempted the judgment. You see how people also lashed him. So we allowed the judiciary to work and everything. I agree with you that the Attorney General is expediting it. It doesn't mean the judge. Attorney General can push the judge to take a decision and say that within 2 days he should give judgment. No. I am not condoning to anything, but what I'm saying is judiciary is part of the problem. The government is also part of the problem. So you cannot accuse only the government. At least he has set example of, sending cases to the court. And I've given you one example where 6 years nothing has been done and all these things.
But you knew this and yet you attacked John Mahama. At least he has jailed, and I'm not using him being the one who jailed, but jailed some of his officers when he was in office. You haven't done that. In fact, your president has been, and I'm using your president here to mean the MPP-led, but I mean he's our president, has been described as a clearing agency. I'm sure you have seen that and heard that. It means that he's not interested in fighting corruption. And for his special prosecutor to say he was mother serpent of corruption, that means he's the hen that sits on the eggs of corruption in this country. That's a problem. For a party that told us you're coming to remove corrupt Mahama and all his people and fix Ghana, we are not seeing that.
You see, the problem here is that before this, whatever we said, I think we made a mistake by not changing the mindset and conscientizing Ghanaians. Because if you want to fight corruption in this country, whatever decision that you are coming out, Ghanaians should be your partners. Partners in the sense that you should educate Ghanaians to let them know that this has gone wrong and we have to correct it. If we don't, it is not good for our country. It is not good for development. If not, even we politicians, especially our accused the parliament. Parliament, we take entrenched position. If it's MPP, you see all MPP members of parliament supporting. If it is NDC, you see NDC members of parliament supporting. When it happens like that, it makes it difficult to fight corruption. You know very well that what this individual has done is not good for the country. He's been taken to court. He has not even been jailed. And right there you see interference. That is a problem. It's part of it. So I think if you really want to fight corruption, I will tell you that those who say that, oh, this man is corrupt, this woman is corrupt, naturally, almost everybody in this country, we are all corrupt. You know why? Because right from our inception, when we were born, our culture alone, the children, what they see at home, it becomes an imprint in the brain, and they think they are doing the right thing. It is only few that come out and realize what my parents were doing
it's not right.
Yeah, was not right for the country. So when we are talking of corruption, we are all corrupt.
Okay.
So for us to change Ghana and eliminate or reduce, I would say reduce, because everywhere in the world, some people are corrupt. They avoid taxes and all those things. So I think to reduce corruption in this country, we have to educate every Ghanaian. Every Ghanaian should be a partner to the government, so that we begin to teach them, advise them, and let them know that even if you go to work and you're supposed to start at 8 and you go at 10, it's against the normal time that we have to go.
So that's also corruption.
Yeah,
corruption of morals and all of that.
Right, all those things. So
I googled your name and added corruption. Lots of headlines. I'm just going to read two for you. The first one says, Agyapong vows to commit suicide if Mahama is not jailed. This is Ibrahim Mahama. This was 2017. Speaking on Adum TV, maverick politician said, quote, I will take in poison and kill myself if Ibrahim Mahama is not jailed, unquote. He should watch and hear me well. I'll take in poison and die if Ibrahim is not jailed. This was because you thought he was corrupt. 6 years
that
on,
he is corrupt.
but he has not gone to jail. 6 years on.
No, let me tell you. You see why I blame the judges and everything? Ibrahim Mahama, okay, was clearing all his machines without paying taxes, duties.
That's an allegation.
I took him on, and he went and paid 14 million. You didn't hear. A good journalist like you, you didn't hear.
I did.
That's where I have a problem. If you did, indeed, you would not even make this statement.
But so that is why.
And let me tell you, the culture. What I talk about culture. Some big chiefs, some big politicians were begging on his behalf, and now he gets the moral rights even to make such a statement.
Do you not think you gave him the chance? Because if you tagged him as corrupt, and
but he's corrupt. I've given you one example where he didn't pay the duties.
If you tagged him as corrupt, now you come and your record isn't that better. It means you gave him the moral high ground to make the comments against you. And
have I been charged of corruption?
Not yet.
Yeah, so it's not me personally.
Okay. Okay. There's another story. I have corruption evidence that can destroy MPP, Kennedy Agyapong. This was 1 year ago. You are condoning and using corruption as a blackmail tool? You want to be
my brother, I have a problem. With all due respect.
Yes.
Sometimes the words you journalists use, I've told you earlier on that if Ghana is going to burn, it will come from journalists and because of misreporting. Because of misreporting.
But there's a quote here. Let me read it for you and tell me if you didn't say this. Claiming that the MPP's Director of Communication, Mr. Bawumia, has been speaking disparagingly about him, Kennedy Agyapong warned that, quote, if NPP folks dare me, I swear God, I will release an Anas video, unquote, he filmed in Tree. You didn't say this.
And you see the Anas video I'm talking about, you see when he released just a portion of it, the Minister of Finance was sacked.
So it means you have evidence that there's corruption in the government and you are sitting on it. You didn't go to OSP?
I took it to court. That is why Anas to the judge found him guilty.
Okay,
because you know what? I gave the evidence to him to prove. This Anas example, honestly, is entrapment. It doesn't mean because the way he entrapped those people, they made a mistake. If I show you the videos, they are here. If I show you, you see that he entrapped them. But I was saying that if I should come out and show all these videos without even giving you background of it, because we all consume information, the way they see it, they will think that MPP is corrupt and it will collapse the government.
So it's not as if the government was corrupt, you have the filler, but you are keeping it under your pillow. That's not what it meant.
I was not keeping it under my pillow because I presented it to the court. So how would you say that?
Very well.
The moment you take it to court, it's public.
And then it goes for it.
Right.
The president you campaigned for, he extolled Anas's virtues and said he was going to use the Anas model in his fight against corruption.
Yeah.
Yet you don't agree with Anas.
Let me tell you something. Today, I want you to go and interview President Akufo-Addo. And if you make that statement again,
you think he has recanted?
Of course, yes, because I've given enough evidence. And I know for sure, after watching the video where he sacked Dubois, I know he has regretted. Because they all saw the video and it was completely entrapment. You see? So those like...
So you don't agree with that principle?
No. So Obama came here. And all of us were believing in Anas because of the way. But when I started criticizing his modus operandi, and videos started coming to, I have a lot of videos on Anas, evidence. Then I realized it was, it was complete entrapment. Not that the people were corrupt.
So you had an opposing view to what many people hold the view of Anas.
And I proved to the whole country.
Now, Ahmed Swale is dead.
Right.
It's an albatross around your neck because of what you said publicly on TV.
What did I say?
Oh, you said that if they see him, they should beat him. I have a quotation.
Yes.
And because NDC has said that in 2024, all they need is a DJ to be playing back sound bites of MPP people. They don't have to say anything.
And also I can defend everything. And MPP, I will also play if I win as a presidential candidate. I'll bring all their corruption.
So this is what you said about Ahmed. You showed his video and said, this Ahmed, you all know he lives in Medina. When you see him, beat him.
You see, I have a problem with you journalists.
Okay.
And you are going to burn this country.
You see that number said this on your neck 2
Hold
TV.
on, hold on.
That's where I took you from.
You see, I've said this several times. Let me tell you what transpired. I showed the video of Ahmed Swale. And when they saw it, my workers came to me and said, Honorable, don't you know this guy? You even gave him 1,500 to go and pay his school fees, which I always do for people, so I don't even remember. Then I said to them, then you have to be careful. If this guy comes here, beat him up, because he's going to set this company up.
What a good thing to say.
Yes.
Beat like physical, beat him.
Yes. Not that
you don't regret that
now. No, not that I want to be president, and therefore I will come and tell you I didn't say that. No, I said if he comes to my premises, I didn't say go and beat him outside. No, okay. I said they said, oh, he has been coming here. I said no, based on the evidence I had. You know, Ahmed Swale's problem. May he so rest in peace. He made a lot of mistakes. You know why? All the investigations Anas did, Anas never showed up with his face. Ahmed Swale showed his face. So all the people that he embarrassed in this country, Anas embarrassed in this country, it was Ahmed Swale who set them up. Ahmed Swale was the one who set the finance minister and those finance people up with some renowned lawyer. They never saw Anas's face. So if I say that this is the guy, and let me tell you the truth today, this cannot be an albatross on me. Let me tell you something. When I showed the face of Ahmed Swale, the finance minister was on his way to Dubai to meet them. So the Minister of State, yes, Minister of State, Edubuahin, called him and said, Esh, I have seen this on net too. This is entrapment. He actually met them and he snubbed them. He snubbed them. They didn't know it was Anas until I showed the face and connected Ahmed Swale to Anas. So how on earth would you say that I say if he comes to my premises, beat him up because he's going to set us up? And look, Kwasi Nyantakyi, look at the way he was rising in this country. And it was not Anas. It was Ahmed Swale who destroyed Kwasi Nyantakyi. Because Anas, he never met him until Kwasi Nyantakyi, he went to Dubai with the Liberian president, thinking they would get money because of the way Ahmed Swale was talking. He disappointed them. So when Kwasi Nyantakyi came back to Ghana, he threatened to sue Ahmed Swale. That is when Anas owned up that, oh, he's sorry, he was the one who did this and that. And they went there the second time, and he disgraced them.
Let's move away from corruption. Let's talk about the economy. It was a big deal. NPP said to us that you had the men. You've been in power for 6 years. You have said your money that you had has been devalued under your own government. These are top economies, and I remember Dr. Bawumia mentioning the list of men that you have who have economic background. All these guys are around the table and things have gone south. You are not an economist. What can you do differently, or what would you do differently?
I would do things differently because I'm pragmatic. I believe in physical things, things that I've seen that can develop this country. I'm not a theorist. Most of them are theorists. They come, they propound theories, and it never works. If there is a change in the world economy, then they begin to have problems. I'll give you an example how I'm going to change this economy. I mean, from your name, I can tell that you are from the north. Look, the 5 northern regions, the arable lands that we have there, Volta region, Afram Place and Accra Place, When we go into agro-processing with mechanized farming, my brother, we'll be able to change the fortunes of this country. For instance, about 2 weeks ago, African leaders went to Russian summit and embarrassed themselves by asking Russia for grains. With all these arable lands we have in Africa, our leaders cannot go into mechanized farming, processing, and we are always begging for food.
But we said planting for food and jobs. So what went wrong with that?
Let me tell you something. Planting for food. One day, I met a group of agriculturists and all those things, and I gave them example. Why I'm saying I'm pragmatic. I gave them example that when you are going to Tema, you cross the toll booth, look on your right. I will say illegal because the land doesn't belong to them. But they are using Ghana water. They piped it and small irrigation.
To grow lettuce.
Yeah, go and see the yield over there.
It's beautiful.
Good. So why can't we irrigate most of our lands? And that day I was so disappointed. The answer was that irrigation is too expensive. I said, oh, gee. And you see, you talk of irrigation being too expensive in terms of short run. But long run, it is cheaper. Because when you go to South Africa, they grow maize 365 days. If you want corn, you will get it. But here it's seasonal. Because they irrigate the lands. At least these Ashama guys, when you are coming from Tema to Accra, when you go past Ashama, come to
right.
24 on your right, maize up to now, you see it. Because they use that small dirty river or gutter over there.
And we can replicate this in the country.
That is the example I gave them. And they didn't accept it.
But the people who are in charge of our agriculture sector, and I'm referring to the civil servant, will be the same people in the Agyapong government. Agyapong
will fire you. Discipline in this country. Let me give you one example. Why, if you make a mistake, we have to fire you. One, I have a problem with people who think they have served for so many years, unproductive hours, unproductive days, unproductive years, and they think they need promotion. They are due. They have to. I am going to base promotion in this country on performance.
It's good you talk about firing. President Akufo-Addo has been accused of being lenient too much to his appointees. Okay, land, please.
I wanted to land. So, because of, I'll give you one example. Why I have decided to contest as a presidential candidate or flag bearer is that as far back as Honorable Kwashige's time, I did experiment on 2 products. One, yam. I took yam to Holland, a company called Grasso. They did experiment, and we can store yam for 8 months. Fish. I also educated them that fish, June, July, August, we throw fish back into the sea. We need blast freeze machines before the coast or along the coast, so that we can blast freeze the catch at minus 41 degrees for 24 hours. Then you move it from the blast freeze room to the coastal minus 10-12%, and it meets international standard that we can export. My brother, they didn't listen to me. So the technical guys, if I tell you, first of all, I will expose them to the way they do things in terms of agriculture. Exposing them meaning will give them opportunity to go and train elsewhere. I believe in India and China.
You are looking east, you don't look west.
No, I will use Asia Miracle to develop this country. So when we have gone round, my first 100 days, apart from conscientizing Ghanaians or changing the mindset, everybody, anybody that I will appoint as a minister, I'm going to use Plato's ideal word. Put them in a room, bring experts to educate them and show them the way to do things differently from what we are doing. So when you are given all these opportunity, and you still go back to what you are used to, and it's not productive, I'm afraid we have to let you go.
If you were President Akufo-Addo today, who would you fire in his government?
I don't know.
You don't want to pass a judgment on any of them.
No, yeah, because sometimes it's allegations, and I wouldn't say this man or that, because I've been accused of saying so many things
that you don't
which,
you don't want to hang people.
No, yeah, which I did not know, which I did not even
see,
say.
yeah.
And the headlines
I've misled you.
Yeah.
There's another headline I'm going to quote, but that will be after this break. Kennedy Agyapong has said that forget 2024 if you go to IMF. NPP is at IMF now. Should we forget 2024? Please stay with us. This face to face.
On a hotel. I was in Dubai last week, and 3 rooms with my family. We were 6. 3 rooms. It was 1,500 dirhams a day, which means each room was $140 with breakfast. Look, that same room in Ghana here will be about 500. How? So if I decide to go on vacation, these 2 countries where I can get a hotel room with breakfast for $140 and a country, a hotel room with breakfast for $400, which one would you choose?
The cheaper one, of course.
Case closed. So for us to build tourism in this country, all these things will come to play. So why I'm different from all the candidates.
Before you go to that, Professor Mills was a taxman or a revenue authority guy before he became president. They've talked so many times about widening the tax net, and it did not end anywhere. This government has said you're going to move from taxation to production. Nothing has happened. You are sure that you, who is not educated in taxing, can be the guy who fixes that problem?
See, I keep telling you theory. I'm a pragmatic person. I have experience more than, with all due respect to Professor Mills, because he's bookish. I'm sorry to use that word. Agyapong, I'm a politician and a businessman. Let me show you the difference between me and Mills, who was a taxer. I am fortunate to employ educated people, uneducated people, and the artisans. And I can tell you, artisans make more money than some of the educated people. I'll give you one example. A mason at my construction site in Tema makes 150 Ghana cedis a day. In 26 days, he makes almost 4,000 cedis. Graduates at Oman FM and Ken City, just as you said that we don't pay journalists well, make between 2,007, 3,000, and they pay tax. The mason who makes 4,000 cedis doesn't pay tax. A contractor, he says I shouldn't use him. He came to beg my wife, saying that, oh, my boss is always mentioning me. I've not mentioned his name, but he feels guilty. You see, there should be a system where I'll be able to check that the guy that I'm paying this amount also pays tax. I always argue with him. I want to deduct tax from him, but there's no means because he's not registered.
So the means that has been produced is the digitalization agenda, championed and led by Dr. Bawumia. Many people in your government hold the view that he is the guy who laid that foundation for the digital economy. Let him be there. Why do you want to contest him and other people who are in the race?
I wanted to finish my explanation.
Go ahead.
You see, I'm talking about taxes, the reduce and expand. If, with all due respect, you let me finish.
Please go ahead.
A contractor charges me $11.8 million for foundations to fix my steel plant machines. His labor charge out of the 11.8 was 2.4 million. All these 2.4 million goes to this guy and his workers, no tax, because I don't have a means to take tax from them. So when Agyapong is given the opportunity, every artisan, everybody working in this country will have to register and have a license and a PIN number so that we can tax them. Then, when we have widened the net like this, we'll be able to reduce taxes, especially the port. Port, customs, they are all suffering because a lot of traders or importers have stopped because of high tariffs. And they are high because it's direct tax. They are able to assess that more than this indirect tax where you have to go through so many channels before you get it. That is where Vice President Delegates will come in. So we have to lay the foundation first. Digitization doesn't mean you should go and have a license. You should have the license first before you digitize the person. You have to get a social security number or a PIN number or tax ID before you digitize it. Okay. So we have to lay the foundation. Conscientization of Ghanaians that everybody, no matter how small your money is, you have to pay a little. When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, shoe shine, the guys doing the shoe shine, they even pay tax, but they give them flat rate. See, it's so sad that only 600 large companies in the whole country that are paying light taxes. And I'll give you one example. Why I'm different from other candidates is that I'm well versed in business. I can give you a number of examples. Just recently, I was fighting with Ghana Revenue Authority because my co-store, I have registered VAT for VAT. And because of the VAT, my fish is more expensive than the Lebanese next door to me, who has not registered to pay VAT. And you see a fleet of trucks, although his co-store is smaller than mine will be about 10 times or 14 times than his. But the volumes count. So if you look at the size of the co-store and say you are not going to pay VAT, you are doing a disservice to this nation. Okay. The VAT should be based on volumes. Okay. Whatever he sells, he pays VAT on it.
Honorable, the 10 of you who are contesting, anyone who emerges the winner would have to sell the MPP's campaign in election 2024. I want you to speak to NPP delegates who are disgruntled, and I'm referring to the base of the party, disgruntled about the state of affairs, not even NDC and other people. What would you say to them, considering that the things you said you will not do, you will not go to IMF, you have gone? What are you going to say to them to motivate your base, first of all, before you even appeal to the nation?
I'm going to tell them that they should give Agyapong opportunity to create employment for them. In life, the only thing that will make you survive is when you are working. And look, we have a lot of tourist sites in this country, undeveloped, untapped. That will not take more than 6 months. Tourism. I'll use tourism to boost this economy. First, for example, when President declared the year of return, from October to January 2019 or so, tourism made about $1.4 billion. Call it 3 months. Mm-hmm. So can you imagine if we have developed the tourist sites, this castle, Osu Castle, I'll move everybody from there and give them different office, a heritage. And I'll develop Osu Castle in such a way that it will attract a lot of tourists because I'm going to buy ships and put it there. We'll write point of no return. When you go through the tunnel,
you enter the ship.
You enter the ship. In the ship, there will be live band music, food, restaurant, whatever drinks you want. And you ride from Osu all the way to Winneba and back. The ticket that you buy gives you food and a drink. So during the entertainment, the live band and everything, we have beautiful women dancing, and you get carried away.
You may marry an extra wife.
Well, if you choose to. Now you don't know what I am going to do, so I will not advise you.
You won't advise polygamy, will you?
Yeah, I won't advise you.
Kafra, why?
So by the time you come back, you would have spent more money.
Mm. We have to go, but how would you explain the IMF U-turn to your party people?
The IMF, I've given you answer to the IMF based on my principles.
Domesticate.
Tourism, agri and mechanization and agro-processing, IT, which I call technology and engineering. These 4 areas will change Ghana for good, especially tourism and agro-processing.
But you owe Ghanaians an apology?
No.
You don't?
No. About what?
For the promises you made that you have failed to deliver.
Who made that promise?
Me, the MPP, not me, so the Agyapong.
So I didn't make any promise because as an individual, I have given a lot of suggestions that they did not take. Like the example I gave you that we have to do irrigation and they didn't mind it. President Kufuor's time when I was advising Minister of Agric to, have warehouses that were blowers, can store yam for 8 months, telling them to build blast-freeze machines so that our fish that we catch, we can export. They didn't listen to me. So who will blame me for that?
We have to go now, but there is a rumor out there that Afro Kennedy, he's just doing this. Later on, he's going to throw his support again behind somebody, and that he's just doing this to scuttle the race. I want you to look at the camera and say on authority that you're running this race to the end and that you're not just doing some experiments, because the numbers are looking good for you in terms of the polls.
You see,
are you in to support someone or you are going to the end?
My brother, election is expensive. If you know how much I've spent, those who are sitting back there thinking Agyapong is doing it for somebody, I'm afraid they have to change their mind. And again, the policies that I have, none of them going around has been able to tell the delegates in Ghana what they are going to do for the country. So I stand out. Look, 4 days ago, this weekend, Sunday or so, I got 17 lecturers from Legon who said, they came to me, moving peak here, and said that they are all lecturers, but they believe and accept that they are terrorists. And they buy into the pragmatism policy that I have been talking about. And therefore, they want to be part of it. 17 lecturers. On Sunday, they were here. That alone tells you something. So I'm in for good.
We wish you all the best and thank you for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
That's Honorable Kennedy.
I hope I've been able to clear some of the
You have told your story, and that's essentially what we sought to do out, to let you speak to the issues that have been raised against you. Thank you. We hope to speak to you again. Maybe, what number do you hope to be at the
this man? If you know the number of people that have been killed, if you know the number of people that have lost their jobs, we have to be fair to all those families that Anas and Ameswale set them up. You see, you didn't let me finish. It was Ameswale. You are talking about undercover.
Yes, undercover.
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 So why didn't he, Ameswale, also cover himself?
Because
he
it's
was
undercover.
there. No, you are saying undercover, but Ameswale was there physically. Call Kwesi Nyantechi, he will tell you. Call Edubuahin, he will tell you. Call these ministers.
So why did you expose a gentleman to the Ghanaian public? Ultimately, the accusation is that it got him killed.
How did he get him killed? His own deeds killed him, not me.
All right.
What I said was that the first video I showed, you see why I have a problem with some journalists and you think I don't have it. There are a series of videos. You've taken only this one. The first one, when I mentioned Ameswale, my workers came to me, oh, Honorable, you don't know this guy. This guy has been here for school fees. You gave him 1,500 cedis to go and pay his school fees. And I said, I don't know him. So they said, oh, he has been coming here all the time. So the first video, then I said, this guy is a bad guy. If he comes here, beat him up. Because he's going to set me up. He's going to set Kansas City up. And my toil.
You said it on live TV.
Yes.
You brought the gentleman's life in danger.
How did he
as a result of that?
What about Kwesi Nyantechi's life?
He was shot.
What about Kwesi Nyantechi? His own deeds. His own deeds.
So that's your conclusion?
His own deeds caused his death, not me.
You also had defamatory actions undertaken in the U.S. court in Virginia, if I'm right, against Kevin Taylor. You know Kevin Taylor very well.
Yes.
Yeah. And the judgment did say it is undisputed that Agyapong is a public figure and Taylor's sentiments were made regarding matters of public concern.
Right.
It does indicate that if you plead the Fifth Amendment in the United States of America, you're a public figure, you should not be afraid of scrutiny. Why is it that when Ghanaian journalists are probing, asking questions that lead to scrutiny and governance, you seem to have a problem with it?
How do I have a problem if you are coming out with sensible questions and the truth? I have a problem with sensationalization.
And who was doing that, Kevin Taylor?
That will cause the death of some people. You see, of late, the way bloggers and other media people are going about issues, if we don't take time, it will burn this country. So you are here mentioning Kevin Taylor. You think what Kevin Taylor is doing to the country and Ghana, because he's a journalist, nobody has to say it if he's wrong? Is that what you are saying, my brother?
I'm talking about the defamatory actions you issued against him in the Virginia court.
Yeah, and they are saying that once I'm a public figure, he can say whatever he wants to say. Case closed. It doesn't mean anything. That's what they said. Whatever he said against me, the court says I'm a public figure. So if you're a public figure, they can say anything. That is all. That is the judgment. So I don't know.
I find it quite funny. And since then, you've been on the campaign trail.
Right.
And subsequently, you seem to be throwing jabs at a number of your opponents who are key leading figures, including the vice president as well as Alan Chamantin, who was trade minister, etc. I'll play you an insert, perhaps maybe you might not recall. Right. Please, give me that.
It is only Ghana and I would the economy call IMF also your strategies. MPP for Oma clean campaign Ombenyasem because media okay may reply. Obi also your strategies. Also your strategies. Embra you taking over power. Not dollar your 4 cities. And then dollar your 12 cities. We are strategies. Excuse me, strategies. More strategies.
How am I throwing jobs?
Mr. Agyapong, while you seem to have taken the campaign by storm, you also seem to be rallying up feathers, angering people, including your own friends who now are standing against you as presidential candidate.
I don't care.
Who are the strategies you were talking about?
Yeah, who are the strategies? You see, in this country, unfortunately, journalists especially, most of you consume information without digesting. At least you should have given me benefit of the doubt and say that, why did this man talk like that? Is he a madman? Then you begin to probe into it. I specifically said, Mose, Moye strategies. It means something has happened. But you never bother to check what has happened. That is the problem. You see, when I come out like this, then you say I don't like journalists.
Because you were throwing jabs at your own government and key individuals who were managing part of the economy.
They are also throwing jabs. They are throwing jabs. Did you listen to what I said? Did you further investigate? That is the problem. If somebody goes there to say that we don't want a candidate who will come and tell you, I have built this for 37 military hospital. I have bought vehicles for MPP. We want a strategist. And you see, if you had probed into it, you would have known that I was not even referring to vice president. I was referring to John Kuma.
I didn't say that you were referring to a vice president.
Yeah,
I have not said that.
Here. You said some of the candidates. Is John Kuma a candidate?
I'm saying some of the candidates, you're throwing jabs at them.
And is John Kuma a candidate? If you had probed into it and done your work very well, you would have known that I was not referring to any candidate. But you see, that stereotype positions that some of you take will destroy this country, which I feel is not fair. That's why I'm saying that at least give Agyapong benefit of the doubt and ask questions. Why did he say this?
Now let's come to the subject matter of this content. Since you've been on the campaign trail, you seem to be unearthing a lot of issues and also coming to the conclusion that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has inherited, based on the indicators, as you stated there, 4 Ghana cedis. Well, it depends also where you're taking it from. 3.8 Ghana cedis to $1, seem to have taken it to where we are currently. And so it's incompetent. Is that your conclusion?
That is not a conclusion. But I was drawing the attention of the minister who was on the floor of the House by 12 o'clock saying that we are not going to IMF today, we are not going to IMF tomorrow, and 2 p.m. we announced that we've gone to IMF. And this same guy goes out there to say that we don't want somebody like Agyapong. That's why I responded. So that doesn't mean I'm saying that MPP is incompetent. But I will admit that moving from 4 cedis to 12 cedis, you cannot shower praises on MPP. Read my lips. That's the gospel truth.
Does it mean that you are coming to the conclusion anybody who should be selected to be the presidential candidate doesn't need to be an individual who has served in government? Is that your conclusion? That's
not my conclusion, but it's a judgment of the voters. Those who are going to vote should know the terrain, what we are going through and everything, and one candidate that brings a new vision.
What vision do you bring?
My vision? Pragmatism.
Which is what?
PhD means patriotism, honesty, and discipline. Patriotism, honesty, and discipline. In this country, if we can move this country, the situation we are in now, we need somebody who will be bold to tell you to your face that what we are doing is wrong. And the moment I tell you, what's your name, please?
Roland. My name is Roland.
Roland. When I say, Roland, this is wrong, you say, oh, Agyapong is rude. I'm not rude, I'm confident. And here, in this country, Ghanaians misconstrue confidence to be arrogance. That is the challenge I have in this country. All what you are saying, everything that I've said have come to pass is the truth. And once I believe is the truth, nobody can threaten me because we are serving this country and Ghana first. So what I'm bringing on board as an experienced businessman or entrepreneur, my experiences, I'll bring it to bear because I have sat down carefully, analyzed the situations and the challenges of this country. And I know that there are 3 key areas that if we use that, we can change the fortunes of this country. That is patriotism, honesty, and discipline. Ghanaians, we are not patriotic when it comes to businesses especially. Even our lifestyle. You see, my brother, let me draw your attention to something. Why is it? We cannot say that Ghana, we are poor. We are not poor.
Why?
Because foreigners have shown us clearly that Ghana is rich. Why is it that foreign investments are doing well in this country and we Ghanaians, our businesses are not flourishing? Have we thought of that? Have we questioned ourselves? As a businessman, I have come to realize that the dishonesty in this country is killing our businesses. Indiscipline is killing our businesses. So we have to make sure we are disciplined, we are honest, and we are patriotic. But let me give you one example.
Do give me.
You know, I go to a place, Movenpick, the UK, the visa section. I was going to take a picture.
The consular section, where they take visas, yeah.
I was going to take a picture. And the photographer just told me, Honorable, we want you because look at those people there. They have received visas and they are going. And I can tell you, if I'm not exaggerating, between January to June, over 1 million visas have been issued to Ghanaians. And it's a drain on our human resource. So I went there and counted them, those in the queue going for their visas. My brother, 9 a.m., 73. And you can see the joy in their faces because they have no jobs.
And that is because of poor management of the economy.
Yes. And the poor management, it is not only the government.
Then who has...
Ghana, all of us.
Who has the responsibility too?
You see, the responsibility, I know that leadership by example, that if I say, Agyapong, I'm not going to do this, and I make sure my subordinates are also not going to do it, I agree with you, we can make a difference.
Are you the one saying this? Of course, you've not been in government. You know, all these things you're saying, we've heard it before. Prior to 2017,
right,
the president, then opposition leader, said we have so much money. You know about that phrase?
Right.
Great. And you are also echoing same. How are we going to know you're not going to turn out to be a failed Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president?
Well, I wouldn't say he has failed, but if that's your perception and your description.
I'm drawing lessons from your conclusion that haven't gone to the IMF. That's failure.
Yeah, because I said to NDC, and I still maintain it. If NDC should go to IMF and Agyapong says they failed.
So I'm taking a cue from you. You are saying that's failure. So I also conclude that's failure.
But let me tell you, I'm a businessman. I've created a lot of businesses and employed a lot of people in this country. At least my works show that this man is a different politician. This is the first time in the history of Ghana that we are going to have somebody who has political experience, about 35 years as a politician and also 35 years as a businessman. So with this combination, some people say, oh, you are Donald Trump. I said, no, I'm not Donald Trump because he doesn't have any political experience. At least I've been in parliament for 23 years, so I know. So with the combination of politics and business, I stand out. And the business challenges that I've gone through
and experienced
has given me the experience. That is why I've identified the problems. The word patriotism. I see that we are not patriotic. You know, because you cut in, that's why I couldn't finish about these visas. When you see a Ghanaian, my brother Roland, you see a Ghanaian holding American passport, he's so excited. When you see a Ghanaian holding a British passport, he's so excited.
But you were in America, so why not us?
I did not, never, check your records, change my identity. I had a green card. I gave it up. But I never took American passport because I cherish Ghanaian passport.
Because you have a certain vision. Now, let me ask you. It's good that you're bringing all these things about honesty, patriotism, and discipline. It also means that we need these values to be able to manage the resources we have, the gold, the things that, you know, the reality is just being in business alone, creating a steel factory, having a chain of co-stores and other business chains, somebody will say, who is an astute economist, for example, will conclude, that is not enough to rule a whole country like ours, to take us from where we are
to the top. So what about the person who has not even created 1,000 jobs, that he is fit?
Who are you referring to? Dr. Bawumia or
Everybody, including NDC, all politicians. None of the politicians in this country have created employment more than me. Both NDC, CPP, everybody. So if those who could not even create 500 jobs, you see them or you perceive them as capable of ruling this country, how much more an individual who has over 7,000 workers in this country? And you are saying that that is not enough.
I'm asking a question. I haven't made that conclusion.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. And again, I've told you, at least I've been a member of parliament for 23 years. Next year will be 24. 6 consecutive terms in parliament. You see, I cut across business and politics. So give me opportunity and you see what I can do for this country.
Well, at the end of the day, you first have to convince the delegates of the MPP first.
Yes.
One of the things that they seem also to be criticizing the Akufo-Addo-led government for is that you are one key person. And I remember, if you look at all the scenes, that very day in 2007, when we had the 17 people, ultimately the second round, and then we had that final acceptance speech, you were behind Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
All this while, you'd been his right arm.
Right.
He's been taking us for a ride all this while. You never advised him. You had all these great ideas. Why?
You see, my brother, it's a very good question you've asked. If there's a can language that was usikeswa wasimswa.
A can adage.
Right, adage. The usikeswa wasimswa. That is, it means when you don't have enough money, whatever you say, people don't pay you no mind. But back to your question. You see, you can advise, and they can choose to take or leave it.
Are you saying you advised Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, he never took it?
Not Nana Addo personally, but at least the ministers that come before me, committee levels, I've served several committees, and I always give suggestions the way to move this country. Starting from Honorable Kwashige's time, when I was a Greek minister, committee member, I gave them 2 proposals. For a third one, he agreed. First one, we did experiment. My company called Supercare, we took yam to Holland and did experiment. They realized the starch content in yam is the same as potatoes. And in Holland and all European countries, America, and they store yam potatoes for 8 months. So they are saying that we can store yam for 8 months. I gave them the technology. It's just simple blowers like this room, and you put the blowers like air conditioning, but it's not as cold as air conditioning. The temperature is like you still have the yam in the earth. And if you do that in layers, you can store the yam for 8 months. My brother, I said this. Nobody paid me money. Second one, I advised them that June, July, August, we catch a lot of fish. We are not able to store it and smoke it, so the fishermen throw them back into the sea. What we have to do is first build cold stores with blast freeze.
Cold stores with?
Blast freeze. You cannot just build only cold store. Cold store, the temperature is between -10, -12. Blast freeze, the temperature is -40, -41. So let's build cold stores with blast freeze so that when you blast freeze it at -40, 41 degrees for 24 hours, then you move it into the cold store, -10, -12. It meets international standard, and we can export our fish.
Laudable.
Yes.
Laudable. And this administration, have you advised any of them from the president to...
Not the president, but...
Did you advise the finance minister?
Hold on. Who am I?
Why not you?
I seen them lay middle school. That is why I want to be president this time and prove them wrong, that they are all terrorists.
I see.
Yes, I want to use pragmatic approach to change the fortunes of this country. We are terrorists.
Mr. Agyapong, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When the country was disillusioned, and I'm talking about from December, because from September, October, the dollar started just spiraling out of control. You were extremely worried, and I've monitored many of your videos interacting with the delegates, that your businesses were just, you were having forex losses. That's what you said.
Yes.
Did you in any way take part in that action of either 95, 96, 97, 98 MPs who wanted Ken Ofori-Atta out of office because of his incompetence?
You see, I'm a senior member of parliament. When you take honorable...
So you were playing senior?
Hold on, not that I'm playing senior. I wanted them to justify their reasons. I am against whoever is incompetent. He has to go. But convince me. Give me reasons why you want him out. You didn't see anything from me, or you didn't hear anything from me. But behind the scenes, we also advise that this is the way we should go. I met the group and advised them that, look, this is our position. Let's go through the budget. After the budget, whatever decision you take. Because now, if they are going to IMF and we remove Ken Ofori-Atta today,
why not? If he dies, the country will move on.
Hold on. This is my, that's your opinion, which is perfect. But my suggestion to them was that he has negotiated this IMF deal for so long. We are just at the tip of it to Finish. So let him complete it. And after that, if we feel he should go, he should go.
Okay.
That's the advice I gave them.
Now, when they went to the president, that was same advice. Are you the one who advised the president to give them that advice?
I did not. When we went to president, all of us, I didn't speak. I just allowed the young ones also to vent out their anger and all those things. So I didn't say anything. But the gentleman will tell you that I had several engagements with them. I had several engagements with Ken Ofori-Atta, to make sure there is peace for the system to go through whatever we are going through. And that's what a good leader should do. So that's my position. And that is what I did. Not that I kept quiet. But you see, when we first went to Parliament, the exuberance, the youthful exuberance. My brother, now I'm 63.
Yeah. You have to take it easy.
Exactly. So sometimes I allow the young ones also to do their own thing, because through that they will have experience. And a time will come that when they are doing certain things, they will stay away.
You've been going round constituency by constituency. Indeed, your messages seem to be permeating the minds and the thoughts of even those who are outside your party. You've been focusing all your communication of your vision on tourism, agriculture, etc.
Technology,
technology.
engineering.
What have you seen across the country that makes you draw the conclusion that you can take a certain region, whether it's Bono or Volta or Ashanti, and then you can use the resources there to transform Ghana? And what sort of resources and in what way would they be?
Thank you very much for the question. Politics is destroying this country. Politics will polarize the system, which is not good for us. You know why I'm saying that? Going round, I've had the opportunity to go around the whole, about 13 regions.
You went to 13 regions?
Yes, already.
For a man of 60...
Yeah.
60 what? 62?
3.
Hey, you're strong, man.
13 regions, thank you. And when I got to Volta region, I was shocked. What we can do in Volta region, you have no idea. The land, the water bodies. My brother, let me tell you.
Tell me.
We have, myself, my partner, we have a cassava starch factory at Atibu that we, Prime Chief, gave us 125,000 acres land. We've cultivated 30,000 acres of cassava, and we are producing 300 tons starch at Atibubu. And this month ending, definitely the new one at Prime, 200 tons. You see, the land in Volta region is more suitable for cassava and sugarcane even than the Bono East. Yeah, I see this land and I'm shivering. So, what? Do we have leaders in this country? Including NDC MPB. I've been joking with my...
Why are you trying to equalize? You're going for an MPP primary. You're mentioning NDC.
Let me finish. Volta region is dominated by NDC MPs.
Okay.
So when I went back there, I called my friends from Volta and I said, you know what? When I win, I'll put all of you on the table and lash you. Because the gift God has given to you, and you are not using this. Even yesterday at the committee, when I heard the lady was interviewing this, we took a decision yesterday on the ECOWAS.
No, I'll ask you that.
Then, the Constitution and Legal Committee, the ranking member is from Adagru. And I told him, my brother, you are sitting on gold, not this galamsey thing. The land
you mean
have,
Roxanne Nelson Dapaah or who?
Yeah. The land you have, the water bodies, if we do irrigation, 5 northern regions, Afram Plains, Accra Plains, plus Volta region, can feed the whole Africa. Yeah, I mean it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We heard all this from Nanado before 2017.
Let me tell you something. You are right making mention of Nanado.
Because he gave us vision and the vision hasn't materialized.
That's what I'm saying. You are right, because maybe you are disappointed. The things he said, you have not seen anything. Because I also experienced something that we went to Koforidua for a meeting, And I told one minister that, look, when you cross Tema toll booth here, okay, just look on your right. The squatters using these pipes for irrigation, the vegetables. Then when we are coming from Tema Ashama, look on your right.
The plains.
Right. 365 days, because there's this big gutter there that they can collect water. 365 days, they are growing maize. So we have to irrigate most of our lands in this country. And that day, the answer from the minister, I just packed my files and left. He said irrigation is expensive. I said,
Which minister was that?
I won't say anything.
Which minister?
I won't.
Are you talking about Dr. Akoto?
I won't say anything.
The former Greek minister.
I won't say anything.
He told you, what did you say he said again?
The minister said irrigation is expensive.
Dr. Akoto said
My brother,
irrigation is expensive.
I have not mentioned anybody's name. You same person, you will tell me I'm attacking somebody. So I've not mentioned anybody's name.
Right.
But the person said irrigation is expensive. I say, Jesus Christ. That person who said irrigation is expensive is thinking of short run and not long run effect.
Okay.
You see? So, my brother, if I have 125,000 acres and I've cleared 30,000 acres, and you say I cannot, let's go to the north. You know, one simple thing, they call something tama, they share not the fruits. The first time I tasted it, I asked them, so why don't we have tama fruits here? My brother, everywhere, all the 5 regions, they share not.
You saw resources,
Yes.
natural resources that you
Yes.
can use to develop.
Yes.
Don't you think that it's now time for us, bipartisan, MPP, NDC, all the rest of the party, for us to have a national plan?
I agreed with you, 100%. You know, initially I said politics has polarized the system. That's what I meant. So we need bipartisan. But this bipartisan, I don't need myopic thinkers. Read my lips.
You mean those you are contesting with their myopic?
No, you said bipartisan. And I'm saying that, yes, we need bipartisan. Meaning NDC, MPP, CPP, anybody who has the nation at heart should come on board. But I, Agyapong, if I'm the president, I don't want any myopic thinkers. Because I dream big, and we have to move this country. Time is not on our side. So don't come and tell me, Nyamibeye, God will do what God will do. God has given us brains. He has created us a superior being over all his creations. And therefore, I think we need big dreamers, thinkers, that can move this country. And loyalty is key. People who love this country, people who will not take Ghana resources outside to another country.
If you do an analysis of the telecommunications sector, you even take banking. After Ken Ofori-Atta collapsed the banks, and then we have the telecommunications sector now dominated by foreigners instead of Ghanaian-owned entrepreneurs or shareholders. It has put us at risk. I have heard you many commentary before today wail over or cry over this present situation. How do we remedy that?
Asia Miracle.
Which is what?
Asia Miracle. What they did with Hande, Sanyo, and all those, what they did was that they identified businessmen who are into business and having challenges. They called them to a table, round table, and asked of their challenges and decided to help them. And the help they gave, whatever amount of money that the government gave to them, especially Korea, they took shares. The government became a shareholder in the business. So now you can call it PPP.
What?
PPP.
Which is what?
Private-public partnership. Okay. But here, the PPP doesn't work because government does not go into contract or agreement with the investors and say that we are taking shares. Whatever money that we are giving, we are taking shares. You take shares, to have control so that they will not misuse the money. That kind of discipline is what we need.
To transform.
Yeah, to transform. Okay. The Asia miracle. And that is what I believe in. That Asia miracle. Whatever we do in this country, we cannot allow only foreigners to have money. It's dangerous to the survival of our economy. So we need to promote Ghanaian business. But my brother, let me tell you the truth. We are also our own enemies.
How so?
Yeah, because of dishonesty.
I see.
I can tell you, if you like, go and check Commercial Bank, Exim Bank, the amount of money that has been given to these Ghanaian businesses for one district, one factory. Go and check. When you do that, do you expect any government to come back and give you money again?
Okay.
Even when we started Parliament, they had something like Japanese grant.
The JICA one.
Right. They didn't pay the money. They didn't have any companies. So that is why I'm saying that we are our own enemies. That is why I'm preaching patriotism, honesty, and discipline. Anybody, the Asia miracle, let me explain it well to you. When they give you money, the money will not be handed over to you. But if you want equipment to boost your company, you give them the source of the...
Like the way the Chinese do, for example.
Then they'll send the money directly to the company. So when you give them 3 months, that the materials or machines will arrive in 3 months. The 4th month, they'll be there to inspect if the machines are in. If you give them excuse, then they'll give you another, if you say 3 months, they'll give you another 4 months. The 4th month, if they come and you have not done it, or you've not received it, they took the whole thing from you and give it to another person. That instilled discipline in those entrepreneurs.
You know my conclusion. You seem to be a man of principle. You know what to do, etc. But you were there, your colleague, Cecilia Dapaah, was keeping stash of US dollars, euro, while abochis at airports were being arrested through the Bank of Ghana, etc. Why is it that you don't advise your colleagues to do what you do?
How would I advise my colleagues if I don't know that he has this money there? My brother, how would you advise? They look a picture of innocence and they pretend they don't even have a dime. So how would I know that he has touched this amount of money for me to advise her or him? I'm not capable and I don't have any information. And you see, right from onset when we started, you kept mentioning you have this, you have that. And because of my honesty, a lot of people will keep all these things from me because they say Agyapong is a loud mouth. Whatever he sees, he can't keep it. So such a person, will you even go and tell him that you have $100,000? So I'm not in a position to know what.
When this became big news, the Cecilia Dapaah gate, or the scandal, when you were on the tour, what did you make of it? As an experienced legislator, an experienced politician and a businessman?
You see, whether we like it or not, it's going to affect MPP. I'll speak the truth. I'm fair. When Victoria Hammer mentioned that if she makes $1 million, she's going to do A, B, C, D. Look at how Ghanaians chastised her. So the one who just said, if I get, and the one who has it. So it's a big problem. We cannot run away from it. We cannot. I'm telling you the truth. Whatever they're watching and listening, I know there'll be backlash, but God knows I've spoken the truth.
Perhaps it will not affect MPP if you are elected.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you are a member of the Defense and Interior Committee.
Right.
Why have you decided to side with the executive, to send our innocent troops to go and so-called restore democracy in Niger?
You see, you use our so-called. No, such words are harsh.
Coming from you, that's a novelty.
No, it's
but
not.
you use harsher words.
It's not. It's not. You see, when I use such words, it means I'm reciprocating action. Are you reciprocating action?
No, I'm just quoting.
Yes. You know, yesterday we sat on it. My brother, the security of this country is very, very important. If we make a mistake and we allow coup d'etats all over West Africa, tomorrow it will be me and you. And the first thing, two of us will go to jail first before anybody. One, they'll dissolve. The word is dissolve parliament. They will arrest journalists. Check all the coups. You see, so the security of this country is very, very important. And no matter the amount of money, prevention is better than cure. Prevention will not cost you as much as you are curing it.
There's Boko. We never quell the insecurity there. We're going to Niger.
You see, we have obligation as ECOWAS members. And you cannot run away from it. We have obligation because, in fact, the second most important country in West Africa is Ghana. I've been an ECOWAS member before. So it's an obligation. And this, yesterday I posed the question and answered it myself. Why is it that Burkina, Guinea, and Mali, we didn't go there, and now we are going to Niger?
Okay.
Again, I gave a solution to it that this should serve as a deterrent because it's becoming rampant. Coup d'etat is becoming rampant in ECOWAS. So we should use Niger to serve as a deterrent that anybody who tries again, ECOWAS will come after him. And this is not the first time.
All right.
We've done that in Liberia, Sierra Leone. We've done that in Gambia when Yahya Jammeh said he was not going to hand over power and all those things.
All right. Please get me that insert in which he was wearing a shield.
Asasi am holding for 18 years. Akwa confront grani krono for we what the year court. Meanwhile, another comma, me my no. Oko producing documents come here. Now we there fake documents in the crime. He has gone to court. Why am a buff? The lawyer wrote the thing on the 5th of August. And was appearance here 13. I didn't get anything. Now on the 1st of September, more than injunction, you are a stupid jet. I will face you. You are a stupid jet. Who persuaded you? You are a stupid jet. Yes. 18 years that I've had the land. Wow.
Mr. Agyapong,
yes.
I can imagine you being president, threatening the judge, and you threaten the judge, not even yet a president. Why are you threatening judges? Journalists, judges? Everybody?
Are you saying that if you're a judge, it means you have 100% judgment and you are right and you can do anything? Is that what you are saying? You keep saying journalists, do the right thing. Do the right thing and nobody will mention your name. Am I saying every journalist? I say some journalists. But you lump all of you together and say journalists. You see, with all due respect, judges don't have absolute control. There should be checks and balances. If you listen to the import of what I am saying, if not because I'm angry, and I know you the way we are asking questions, if you go through this dilemma, you do worse things than what you've shown to me. I've owned this land for 18 years. Let me tell you, there's a Lebanese guy called Kamoni. I was in Kumasi, this particular land. I've walled it. There was a building on it. I didn't like it and I demolished it. So I asked a guy to stay there. He's been there for the past 12 years. Could you believe that I was in Kumasi and the Kamoni and some soldiers, they were wearing military uniform, whatever, they went there. When they went there, the guy on the land said, no, the land doesn't belong to them. It belongs to Honorable Agyapong. Let me call him. He called. And I said, let me talk to him. He refused to talk to me. So I came back. And they brought land guards there. I went there. And when the land guards saw me, said, oh no, this man is a nice man. We can't do that. They have sold the land to him for $1 million.
And so you had to insult the judge?
Hold on. Now I'm coming. I'm giving you background. So this case over. Then another group also goes out there. You see the loopholes in our system, the law, we have to change it, some of them. You cannot say that I go to court and report that you have done this, and no investigation, nothing. You go and stop me from what I'm doing. Please. Are you saying they are judges and they are 100% right?
So that's why you insulted the judge?
Yes. Because 18 years, nobody even called me to say anything. And you know what they do? It is not even the judge. That's why I apologize to him.
Okay.
The judge will give the orders. The bailiffs, instead of giving the thing to me, they will not. They will delay, they will delay, they will delay, and go back to the court to tell the judge that we didn't see him, we didn't do that. Then finally, they go and put it there. So when I went through it after my anger and everything, I went there. Then I realized the bailiffs are in connivance with those people who want to take the land.
Okay.
You see, but
so you retracted?
Yeah, I apologized to him when I realized it was coming from the bailiffs.
All right. Hold your fire. I see that you are pumped up. Don't worry.
No, I'm cool.
Please play the next insert.
I'm cool.
And Dr. Amoakwa-Boadu, listen to me here. Me, I don't like people like that. Honestly, I have vowed not to insult. Can never blast the beer. I grasp. Chief of staff called me. I went there. Said, now this is what she's saying. I swear my mother's grave. Chief of staff gave me 120,000. Deposited in Agyapong's Fidelity Bank account. Please, Amoakwa-Boadu, what do you know?
Honorable Ken Agyapong, this money, is it USD, Ghana Cedi? We've been wondering since.
Ghana Cedis.
You've changed the figure from USD to
I didn't. Did you hear me say $120,000?
I'm asking a question.
No. You played it. So I want to know, did you hear? We're all watching. Okay. Did you hear me say $120,000?
Mr. Ken Agyapong, we come back to the issue of you, the politically exposed persons, the leading politicians, the elite of our country, hoarding cash. You transact cash hand to hand, etc. It's not good for the country, right? For the economy. You're a businessman, you should know that.
Yeah. You see, those who deal in cash, I'll be honest with you, if they are politicians and they are dealing in cash, because I've been a businessman for so long, they know I have a lot of businesses. And therefore, whatever money I have, I can take you to the bank. Those people who are keeping cash, before they became ministers or chief executives or whatever, were they able to have that amount of money? So if they take it to banks, and these banks, they leak a lot of information, that, oh, this chief executive has this amount of money. Oh, this minister has this amount of money. You know, those things. So maybe they decide to keep it at home for people not to, see what they have or whatever. So I cannot speak for them, but I take my money to the bank all the time. I do bank transactions. I can give you all the names of the bank that I do transactions.
You have nothing to hide?
Nothing.
If you were...
But you played this Agyapong thing.
You want to put it into perspective for us. We know the issue.
But you didn't talk about it.
No, I wanted to know the currency. Because of the way the dollar is done. I thought it was US dollar.
120,000.
But you took the US dollar and replaced it with Ghana Cedi.
120,000.
Okay, so we're trying to wind up this conversation. It's also live, not only on TV3, but also 3FM 92.7. My colleague, Johnny Hughes, do you know him? Johnny Hughes, you don't know him. You showed his picture on Net 2 before. So I want to ask you why again, he's a journalist, so that's
who is Johnny Hughes?
Johnny, okay, that's okay. That's okay. I want to take a couple of...
What was the reason?
Well, I think it was one of your programs. Amama Gold, and I'm on the stream. Amama Gold says, this is just another Adodankwa Akufo-Addo in a different form. You dispute that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Amama Gold, he disputes that. Frimpong Newton says, this is not the time for who said. Ghana is in crisis and we need someone to rescue the nation, since coup is not the option. He seems to think that you are the person. If you have to rate the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 0 to 10, what will be your rating?
6.
That's failure.
Well, 6 is above average.
Yeah.
It's not fail. You haven't failed. 6 is above average. But let me be fair to him too. Now you see...
6 over 10.
Yeah.
That's okay. It doesn't need explanation. That's okay.
No, but let me...
No explanation. Let's move on.
No, I wanted to tell you something.
My colleague, John Hughes, please put his picture. This man, you showed him on net too. You remember? You don't, eh?
I don't remember.
Okay. I'm sure he'll forgive you. Johnny, please forgive him. Now...
No, I showed his picture that he did what?
It was one of your programs. Now. Okay. So, Money says, I should ask you, why is it that, why have you not supplied all street lights you were supposed to supply in your contract? Which entity do you have a contract with?
Agyapong. You see, when you do diabolic things like this, and I put you in your right position, then you say Agyapong is rude.
Okay.
This falsehood. Go to Yoko. I have even supplied the street lights in excess of 2,400. You know why? When the manufacturers are shipping because there can be breakages, they give you extra. And once it's in the name of Ministry of Energy, you can't take it out. So if you are fortunate and not even one gets broken.
Did he do the supply, sir?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
And they owe me.
How much do they owe you?
Minister, I won't tell you, but Minister of Energy owes me if I didn't do the supply.
Does it mean that you make your money largely from government procurement or contracts?
I have a lot of businesses. My brother, let me tell you.
That's a very vague response, Mr. Agyapong.
Look, even rent alone in this country, I make over $800,000 rent a month. $800,000 rent a month after withholding taxes. So now that I'm not doing any contract, am I not Agyapong? So please, these kind of things.
You made comments before for which you were taken to the police that guns and airways, they should be, is it clubbed or beaten or killed? Explain that incident to me.
Thank you. That's the treason. Let me tell you. Honorable Eslausu, Honorable Abujinapo, and there's one gentleman called Muhammad at Abosokan area there. They went to Neil Lante's Vanderpoy's constituency and they were beaten. The next day, they went to all Kantamanto Akan shops.
Dominator shops.
Yeah, dominator shop and looted. Then, what broke the camel's back was a gentleman today, I can mention his name because he's no more with Gokobot. He's called Solomon. He used to work at Gokobot. So Solomon from Nkonya came with 4 other guys, they were 5, to my house. That the chiefs in Nkonya and Biakuye beat the gongon and asked miners to go and register to vote. And they resisted, and they are beating MPP people in Volta region. So Solomon came to my house. I was in Tema. All these things, I said it in Tema, not the studio. So when he gave me the information, I said, let me call Oman FM for you so that you can put it on there. Then he said, please, I want you to speak on my behalf because I work at Cocobot. If they hear my voice today, they'll sack me from Cocobot. That's Professor Mills' time. So whatever I said was what Solomon Donko repeated, told me. Then I added Greater Accra. I said, if you think Greater Accra is your stronghold, and we are beating Akans. If you think Volta region is your stronghold, and we are beating Akans, then Ashanti region is also our stronghold. If you don't stop, we'll also beat Gans and Ewes. This is what I said. And within an hour, this media.
But you shouldn't have said that.
Why not?
Because it's a localized issue. Then you make statement that seem to nationalize an issue.
You see, you have to be fair to everybody. MPP people are also human beings. MPP, they are human beings. But to tell you that today, if anything happens like that, I will not even say it.
Because now you have changed.
Not that I've changed, but I've learned
you
my
are
lesson.
Changing.
No, I've learned my lesson.
Because you want to be president.
No, I've learned my lesson because the people that I fought for do not even appreciate. And this has become albatross. If I had died, because if they charge you treason, it's very serious. But when they played the tape in court, severally, they brought Institute of Journalism for them to come and translate it and everything. There was nothing. That is why I was set free.
That's your camera. Speak to your delegates. I give you 30 seconds.
Right.
Appeal to your delegates. Look directly into the camera.
Right.
The camera there.
No, all I can tell my delegates is that it's enough is enough. The theories is enough. Let's give somebody who has pragmatic ideas to move this country. The only solution to our problems is to create employment for the youth of this country. And that is what I stand for. Check my track records. My track records clearly indicates that Agyapong is for the youth. Agyapong is for employment. And anybody who does not work in life has no life. So job, job, job. And that is Agyapong. I want to create job opportunities for Ghanaians, businesses, and employ the youth that are coming.
When you were in opposition, you said you jail Ibrahim Mahama. You haven't jailed. Somebody said I should ask you.
You know, if
Ibrahim Mahama,
right,
the business magnate.
Right.
Is he your friend?
Yeah, he's a friend, but I always speak the truth. If you do something wrong...
You've not jailed him?
No, let me tell you. The level of dishonesty and our culture, that's why we have to change some of our cultures, the attitude. You know, I took Ibrahim to court. He paid 14 million Ghana cedis. Do you remember? Hey, you are a fine gentleman. You are very intelligent. Don't keep quiet. Do you remember?
Make your statement.
You know, he was not paying duties on his machines that he was clearing at the port, even on Sundays, because his brother was the president. I challenged him. I gave evidence. And Ibrahim Mahama went to court to pay 14 million. So what have I done to the nation? And he went out there begging. So I'm surprised that President Mahama is saying that I've not been able to jail his brother. When they went behind, were big chiefs coming to beg for him.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for passing. I've enjoyed the interview. I hope that you come the last round before.
I don't have a problem.
Okay. If you're not able to come before the election, when you are elected to the presidential candidate of the MPP, come let's have a conversation.
You'll be the first person I'll invite.
Thank you. You're a nice man, apparently. Please make sure you get interactive. As always, we have 3FM 92.7, TV3 Ghana, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. Well, as you know, we're going to have this uploaded on those platforms, but also give you snipers of great content as we have it right here on TV3 New Day as well as on 3FM. We'll conclude with this, a sneak peek into the past, taking an insert from the young Kennedy Agyapong in his 40s.
What the opposition is saying is right, but because it's your party's agenda, they whip all of us to go and vote. So sometimes, if you are not strong enough, you might vote without thinking, because that is the agenda.
But you don't have a choice anyway. I mean, you just said that, I mean, you don't have to think. You have to do it because they ask you to do it.
Well, but if you ask yourself, what you are doing actually is the right thing?
But after February 2018, now the government said, MPP yɛn kɔ second term ebi sɛ wopere sɛ kosua obɛgya abɔfam Ghana judges akɔba no atum lawyers ano atum custom officers ano atum polisifoɔ no atum sogyafoɔ no atum anas bɛrɛ bi ani Ghana hɔ otumi hyɛ ne gye anas isɛ
regardless of so wo sika na so wuni sika ha ntema ye mu bi mu etiba social media so satam na enipa bebre ekasa enne omu nyina na omu mai ye mu bi mu sha 2020 na ye encourage Ghana for say dodo na ansha se nkasa na ma ye voices no endorse na ye fa pressure nto empanifo no so.
I see about content in social media and na say also ye create classes na ultimate ebe chere ya adi ankasa mo friend pacho munya abuto na say the time we mo media ankasa mommy yemhwe ni say bra na wo Ghana na
na mechia wa tiefu na mechia cha wa tiefu na wo mo so abaso a wo mo behwe Riches TV enti mesra mo so mo hwe da bia ma wo mo na menem se Nyankopon so tumi nti no ebekwa animo ebi se adwuma wo mo bo mbo adwuma pa enti wonua so bo adwuma pa ye yeda ye pia no enti yesra mo mumpia no kakrakra no mo nkwa animo enti yesoso aseda ene ye de mamo na nyame nhira mu nana mo ntom mo hwe maye
that's ere mo miaji mo mianya abo abase se ye gibo adwuma na chise adwuma na ere ye koso ayebo bebi am boss Mr. and we are 14 groups is me.
Can you bring some na kasa o?
No correct.
Ike.
Daddy.
Me dem wo bibi.
Dey bia wo kan. E ba cho sha no subscribe what you see.
Sha. Anima mani we hu ni sunsun no. Manu we ntumi nka.
See ye wa homa bi wo wura mu.
Ai.
Aye friend ahoma.
Se friend ahoma tam. Ahoma tam. So twa ahoma tam no. Na usunsun toso. Na utwa. Wona utwa hu bu. Anya ba ifo na ku. Ebia no natural sa na tie. Ani pa na woto no ye de ale for da kire ho. Wo se ko de sambo. Aba so ni libri. Kai. Wo tie me no. Show ni padua mu sei. So wo hawa so le bla. Bible ka asim bi. Wo se na me bo mo jama Dapaah. Na me yin sopa. Ana no me afiri mu jeni.
Okay.
Wani ma de bi?
Da bi o.
Ja kasa me se na ma won tia se me nkirim.
Okay.
Ebi na ni me nya adwene. Wo problem a.
Okay.
Ebi na wa asole. Ye sa de na nti wonyi ni ena me problem wa. Me mfa se kan me gina wo so. Ti asema me ka kiro no. Na sa wa de sa ya me de na asa na asa wo ana wo sofo. Sofo onye na me animo.
Se ka sa o na ben no.
Da bi na wo na hwan.
Mo ja ni bibia to o.
Sofo ni gina ni pa nim. Eti ni pa so de ko me nyame. Ba o de fo de gina nyame ni ti asa mfi nyame ho de ble ni pa.
Hey. Ha, daddy na wo yin sem gu ho.
Oh. Adom nyame gusu hyirai.
Nyase.
Efo bubu obone pompo kire. Awo Jesus di mu. Amen.
Amen.
Aja Erade hyiraw. Ene day so. Am say enokre last week ba ha.
Nokre.
Ebe hu di Erade eye. Na di ehun ni say Erade amane nsa so dodo.
Okay.
Na sa na wo twi we ho. Obi a oba manimu no. Ebe sunsuma de bia ehu kakra.
Hey. Ami ko machi kakra.
Mo. Eti. Ya de mafen. Oni mafen.
Mafen daddy mfa che won chirim kakra.
Oh.
Mafen ni ehi bi. Ni adi ye nkwan ya na se ni ehi.
Mafen on se wa ye wa aben kwan no. Wasi wa aben no. Mafen de uchim na auto ya auto twetwe na ade soja wo di punu kula mu no.
Oh me tini ya na che se wo be ye pam no soup no.
Wa ye pam no soup no. Ehoma bi sane.
Okay.
Ai kwa de say.
Matia se pa.
Me be me ye o se ye adwuma bi ko fie bi. Hwe? Ba bia enipa ensentimi nwura no enwusie wura
baby enipa ensentimi nwura no
baabi abo ntimi mfa ho no enwusie wura
okay
baabi enipa ni ntimi nhunu no enwusie ewura
waka se mo daddy
na mefe ya dai wizard mefe pamo abaifo
mefe
yes
I mean say so odi so gufu na ja waso agusu na ja ayi hwehwe
no kra eno ya ne de no what I say eno ya ne de aya de na o ma me de bia no oye aduane a no de mefe gu ade ebesi na mefe no onfa mpura ade na ba de bia mefe no gu ho
na me say eja omo be soja na anopa no mo di aso
okay obi o wa egu no na no ope edua e da ba be soja
no krepa
e de ade
o man kan kire
woni be timi de mefe se baabi ama ne di ba 20 years na mefe na so hye wo sa wo ko enkurase a ya kan bukase
okay
sa wo ko bukase a ya timi de mefe se baabi
na chi sa kwa chi se kitchen no
mo the three my friend saw a be over bare 50 years, not my friend as a show. Yeah, Padia, so Johnny and I'm near Padia, but I'm a finish. I don't know to say it in my fish. And
you're not correct.
I don't know what you will, Media Juma.
Okay.
Now, Medicine when I come home. No, Media, ye are dear beyond every person to maybe.
Okay.
Banya bresun sum na kasa o.
No correct.
Ike.
Daddy.
Me dem wo bibi.
De bia wo kan. E ba cho hwa no subscribe what you say.
Hwa. Anima mani we hu ni sunsum no. Manu we ntumi nka.
Yeah, no correct.
Ba de oyale a awie no awie no. Ba yan toyale. Omra.
Okay.
Me here ma free o ya frem na me ncho do be ka ho aba.
Okay.
Ya o de ka ho aba no e be kwakoya adwuma bi wo fi ama. Ma soma saade we he. Saade we ho. We no. We. Obi oso ye adwuma enkoso. Wa ye biala enkoso.
Okay.
Me de saade we. Ye betu ni be mu no, ye betu ni kase no.
Okay.
Ni ade bi aka ho. Ye ade ne ka ho a. Na ma ni pa kro na hye.
Okay.
No ha na dwuma be.
Na che say no more why this few yankasa wo ba be from next week going.
Obi o ha ho. Oya bi enye ye. Obi okra wo pay fra wo ba. Wo pay fra wo batie. Ma free way. Ma fe no. Ye ba sunsuma de aguso. Na ye de ama akokọ a wo behwane. Ye de gona akona da kusua no so. Kusua ni nyina ba behwane baba ko hwane da.
Se mu ye wi akusua akokọ be hwane ni nyina ba ko de o hwane.
De o hwane no o ba kusua no. Na asa de akokora na so.
Na titina friend Monkaya na bibisa.
Na yo papa no no. Ah, doctor declare say enye ye. Hey, sa said you mu ye ya, ye de ba tum wa ye biala. Enye ye. Ni ye na sama fe no. Ni ma focus ya no. Ya be ya de ma no. Ye ba noa. Amani pa na dikusua ni we be hye fe na kire no. Mama no 2 months 3 months wa wa o hia me won Bible on 20 says of we hwe.
Yeah. Edu se na hu se honhom ne kasa. Me pa cha wo hwe dwuma dia na wa subscribe no wa share.
Ya ama mani abrize se ya ne se ho. Ye wi 21 days ye dwuma na ye no. Afa na sunsun na kasa se ye nya akwankire. Me na me ka kire wo. Afio so ya akwankire.
I think say fin was start.
Mo. Ade o so hu ne say. Ike. Medium will be you. Now the Kurameno. I bless us a Casamanipa.
Okay. Sentina that yes, see Abanani wouldn't come on.
And yes, sir. I know her. I know Winty. There be me that type.
So I body when
oh, there be a kind of a trim. I know.
So our body, not a baby of free.
Now, by a mamma. We
the addition come. That is what Passad, you know.
And if I want to one of the other for that, you know. What's up, what is some more? How about Sonny Libby? What would see me no? Show me the you say. So, how else on the black? Bible casting me. What's the number one Jama Dapaah? Number yin sopa, and then no me every mujan.
Okay.
There is a Santana, a one the Pedriamoa, a well mujan.
Okay.
O say film. Bible na hana ye from wato. But ana bompaye. Na awrade e be bie ne yefunu.
Okay.
Hana se bonyin ntan awrade fie. It will be also a problem bino. Only mo was cutting in some anash. And you man quay mano. The day so cranye. On a mass or was still so. So now freezers over Ube, who had I must show. You are better
yet now, say no. Mama, who say, a home we are trying to see and a young about Agyapong, so nobody. Yanso after nana ado ono no onbehwe Ghana so eye mo na mu yi no ye pe no kwafo mo na mu yi no enye me a metie na me yi no se yampa se dia mo kan na ano no ene mo da so e den ekitamu a me pa mo chew aba ye twa enkam but se nyampa se ono be Agyapong obetimi awi ni a ye twa enye den entwin film me say anya den
ona bu kan Agyapong be we ni a
ya twa anya den man ntwe
okay
ba cho ya de bibia somu ana ba cho da bi ya de bibia som me da say me pa cho twa ade na me hwe twa ade na me twe
a tie bo mo hwe bi o
ah
a tie ma wontu me twa na twa ade na pa ade
den
emu ayeden
ayeden
emu ayeden
ayeden
emu ayeden
hey Agyapong ayo na nyame na me ye yo
onse mensem ni na dro for also the chero when the thing comes from spiritual you can't turn it hwede me cause asen wo ho anka say vote ni turn
normal cause asen
anka say turn nso turn ah na president akohobi vice ako amebo
machinery na egu ho no
team ni nyina ministers na mu MCs ni nyina ko mebo
me no obi di nkomo wo se Ghana nyina na wo ho
eno kre
and it was
na president about na vice about dan biem dia epi ohunhun mo no edimre ansa na bia ayeden asesa
okay
da make us out there say but ni appointments sesa no
okay
da make us out there say enna me meti hey me sisu bi ma cultural plane Agyapong is to be the next president. So when you're president,
the next president.
I'm telling you the president.
Okay.
Oh no, be breaking 8.
Oh no,
be breaking 8. Without can MPP should first count out. They can't break the 8. 1.
Without can Agyapong.
They should start packing their things. They can't break the 8.
I must say Bawumia and who
may say. Asema me home me ka say me man no na me according to be consultation me na me kan asema tell
okay
and ha bai wa de me ko be ka me boa
okay
apart from Agyapong I will bet me break 8 who yi Agyapong sin time one man can be able to break 8 Mahama should prepare to take over the seat
without Agyapong no Mahama should prepare to take over
Mahama ambre no ho anya dumadin bia kura na still obekotru
Wo ha wote nkasa wo nemu aye titiriti ana emu hwo wakoma bo periperi wo ye adwuma kakra na wabre ana wo bra se wetimi ada se sa na te dia na wo enu di adanse se o moja ntimi ndi ntini ni mu afusane yie Mbohukra, Nadum Herbal Center, the Nadum Garlic Bitters, Abegaso, say, and so or how we no Nadum Garlic Bitters, ye draw our so I yashada, ye say, ye tin mo mambo gentleman Dimwa Fusani, Nadum Garlic Bitters, Mawa Pomoding, and Mau your form, ne Sama with me day. Cause Nadum Garlic Bitters say ya, now be who say, I you fuchini every DBH. Yechira Kwine Watema Community 1 Casino New Store First Gate. So Sembisa Anau Petrechemu Bia, friend Nambesi. Nadum Herbal Center, while Pomudin Yaya Hoa. FDA Aje Judin Kratoya too.